All right, Larry Krueger from the Pig and Pickle Krug Show with another 49er draft video. All right, this is the time of year. Niners are looking ahead to the draft. The offensive line has to be kind of restocked. I don't think there's any question about that. 49ers are likely to lose Mike McGlinchey in free agency just because, teams like the Bears have $94 million of cap room and severe need on the offensive line. And McGlinchey, despite the fact what 49er fans may feel, is actually grades out as a pretty highly rated offensive tackle. He's a great guy as far as, he's a guy, a locker room pillar. And there's a number of teams on him, number of teams that had a great grade on him, I'm sure, coming out of Notre Dame. So I think Mike McGlinchey is moving on in free agency. And it would not surprise me at all if Jake Brendel also moves on in free agency. And you say, why Brendel? Well, Brendel was a Pro Bowl alternate this year, and he really is a nice player. There's offensive line play around the NFL is probably never been at this low of an ebb as far as the talent. And a guy like Jake Brendel, especially with the Niners having, a number of teams around the league run the same offense the 49ers do, I think Jake Brendel is going to be a very attractive guy in free agency. There are no secrets in the NFL. You make the Pro Bowl, even as an alternate, people take notice. And I expect Jake Brendel and Mike McGlinchey to both get offers that will take them out of San Francisco. Now, the Niners have a third offensive lineman who's also a free agent, and that's Daniel Brunskill. And Brunskill is very valuable because Brunskill can play every spot. He's incredibly smart, probably the smartest guy in that offensive line. He's a veteran. He's dependable. I'm not sure that Daniel Brunskill is what you want as a starter at any position on that offensive line, but man, he's sure nice to have on the bench on game day when you need someone to go in a pinch. This guy can pretty much go in at any spot at any point and not flinch. So Brunskill, I would consider bringing back in free agency. So let's take a look at this 49er offensive line left to right. It's Trent Williams at left tackle. It's Aaron Banks at left guard. They don't have a center in the present, but they do have Jason Poe and Nick Sikel in-house, who both could be decent center candidates. Spencer Burford really played well at right guard this last year. Fourth round draft choice. It's rare to see a fourth round draft choice step in and start on an offensive line of a playoff caliber team. And that's exactly what Burford did. Now, he shared some of the time at right guard with Brunskill, but man, Burford is a phenomenal prospect, whether it be at right guard or at right tackle in the future. Now, I don't think Burford necessarily is got enough quickness to move to right tackle yet, at least not based on what I saw this year, but I think he's really solid at right guard. So what does that mean? That means of 3 of the 5 offensive line spots, the Niners are pretty set. Trent Williams at left tackle, Aaron Banks at left guard, Spencer Burford at right guard. Their holes are at center and at right tackle. They also have Jalen Moore. I mentioned Nick Sikel. They also have Colton McKivitz. McKivitz could start at right tackle for Mike McGlinchey, and they could go internally there or have Jalen Moore and Colton McKivitz, battle it out and see who wins that job and maybe augment it with a second-tier free agent or a rookie. Here are 3 offensive linemen that I absolutely think the 49ers ought to take a look at in the draft. Let's start with Juice Scruggs. First of all, great name. Penn State center. He's 6'3". He's 300 pounds. He's from Ohio. He was a redshirt senior, big-handed guy, 10.25-inch hands, and a good 2-year starter. And this guy's versatile. He can play center. He can play guard. He's dependable. He's very consistent. He was the captain of the team there in Happy Valley. He was an all Big Ten third-team selection. Looked really good in the Shrine Bowl. As I said, 2-year starter. And this guy's played a lot of offensive snaps with only allowing 1 sack. He only allowed 14 pressures in all of his offensive snaps. So he's a versatile player. He can, as I said, he can play multiple positions inside. He's got strong hands. He's played in a big-time program in the Big Ten. He's well coached. I think he's probably going to be a day 3 pick. If you watch him on film, he wore number 70 for the Nittany Lions. And, this is a guy in the All-Star game that really stepped up against a high level of competition and looked good. Now, he's not the quickest player you're going to find, And I've seen better drive blockers than what Juice Scruggs does, but he's a really solid fifth round draft choice who may be able to step in and start at center for the 49ers this year. So remember that name, Juice Scruggs. Great name. The Penn State Nittany Lion offensive center. I think he's going to be a day 3 pick, and I think he's going to be a damn good player. All right, another player that has caught my eye that I really like, and I think he's a diamond in the rough. That's Curtis McClendon from Tennessee Chattanooga. McClendon is a redshirt senior. He's from Chattanooga, so he's probably spent most of his life there in Chattanooga. He's 6'6", 324 pounds, 10 and a quarter inch hands, 35-inch arms. Really, really strong player. And you're talking about 30 career starts at right guard. He's also played left tackle. He's also played right guard. I just love the combination of the athleticism, the arm length, and the nastiness. He was a 3-star recruit out of high school, played in 10 games as a redshirt freshman, way back at the beginning, and was a 2-time finalist for the FedEx Ground Doris Robinson Scholar Athlete Award. So he is a scholar athlete. He's a guard prospect, but he's got the arm length of an offensive tackle. So I think McClendon, believe it or not, could be a guy who makes the rarest of rare transitions. And that usually you see college offensive tackles move inside to the NFL. I actually kind of think Curtis McClendon might be the kind of guy who can move from guard to right tackle. He's got some experience at left tackle, but I think there's a chance that McClendon could be a really nice sleeper pick as a right tackle. He's had some really good games. He's had some struggles, but you're talking about a guy with a great frame, good muscle mass, good athleticism, great length. This is a guy who's got the strength to stonewall, pass rushers who want to bull rush him. He's got enough quickness to move side to side. I really like him. I mean, he works hard. Now, he's had some ugly moments. The Illini game was ugly. He sometimes loses balance on his run blocking where he's just losing balance and going to the ground. He's got to learn to keep his feet a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, this is a player that has huge upside potential. Good numbers. If you looked at 25 reps of 225 at Indy, so there's good functional strength there. You can see it on film when you watch him. This guy's pretty strong. He's a long-armed guard who could probably play right tackle with some development and a little bit of quickness. I'm not saying he's a plug and play right tackle. I don't believe that. I think it's going to take a year. It might take a year and a half or two. But Curtis McClendon is going to be another guy. 4th round, 5th round. He's going to wind up playing in the NFL for 10, 12 years, starting for 8 or 9. And he is going to be a really good offensive lineman for somebody in the middle rounds. All right. And lastly, but surely not least, I'm a huge fan of Illinois' right tackle, Alex Palczewski, who wore number 63 for the Illini. 6'6", 315 pounds, did not allow a sack all season in 2022. He had an 81.4 Pro Football Focus grade, which was 10th among offensive tackles in all of college football. Finished his career with 713 consecutive pass blocking snaps without allowing a sack. Really like this player. Really do. He protected Tommy DeVito. He opened run lanes for Chase Brown. He made 65 career starts. That's right, 65. I did not get that wrong. He got an extra year of eligibility due to COVID. This guy has really just been a model of consistency. Really good pass blocker, and he's got that toughness. He's got a wrestling background. I love the wrestling background. He was a big time wrestler in high school. And he's a versatile player. He's not just played right tackle. He has 16 starts at right guard. So the and he's a kid who comes from Poland. He takes great pride in trying to make his parents happy. I really think Palszewski, I believe that's how you pronounce it, is going to be a nice pick. Now, I think he's going to be there in the 4th round. He might be there in the 6th round, but he's somewhere in that middle range, round 4, 5, 6, in that range. I see a diamond in the rough. I see a player who didn't miss college starts, played hurt, who's got great toughness. He was a leader. He was a consistent pass protector. He can do it in the run game. He's tough. He's versatile. He's smart. He's got the leverage of being a high school wrestler. I love Alex Palszewski, I believe it's how you pronounce it, from the Illini. So there you go. 3 offensive linemen for the 49ers to look for in this upcoming draft. Juice Scruggs, Curtis McClendon, and the great Alex Palszewski, I believe, of the Illini. All right, that does it for our Pig in a Pickle Krug Show draft videos. Hope you enjoyed our breakdown on 3 of the promising offensive linemen that will be on the board most likely in day 3 of April's NFL draft.